Many years ago, an attempted coup took place in the Caribbean Republic of Santa Prisca. Emboldened by the events in Cuba, the people rose up. But the ruling junta here was not so lazy or so blind as the masters of Cuba. The dead were buried, and the living arrested. The three-day battle in the capital left many questions to be asked, and many names to be named. And those named were removed from this world and taken to another. Peñaduro, the hard stone. A woman, heavy with child, was brought to this place. Her unborn was to be charged with the crimes of his father under the medieval codes of this island nation. And he was born a male child, born to life and a life sentence behind the walls of Peñaduro. But this is not the story of how Bane was born. It is the story of his creation. His mother was imprisoned as well. She was his guardian. They were kept in protective care in the prison's infirmary. A man called Zombie was assigned to Dr. Ruger. He watched the boy grow over the years, even as he watched his mother waste away. Dr. Ruger saw nothing, but Zombie saw her dying a little each day. Hope is a living thing. It must be nurtured. But the boy was still a boy. He grew. He thrived. He knew no other place. He learned every hidden corner of Peñaduro. Every secret. It was here that he learned of life. And at far too tender an age, he learned of other things. By the boy's 6th year, his mother had given up all life. Zombie attended to her in those last days. She was a farm girl who could not survive hidden from the sun, and so far from God. The boy would not allow himself a tear. He had become as hard as his place. His mother was weak. For that, she died. She was denied a Christian burial. Her corpse was thrown from Punto de Tiburon to be food for the sharks. And the boy was to be thrown to the animals within the walls.
Your mother has left you quite alone, little one. Left you without a single guardian but the state. But the state is no one's mother. You must fend for yourself. I am releasing you from protective custody.
Only a child, and set down among the beasts of Peñaduro.
Niño, what has brought you here? You look frightened, and so much alone. Come closer, Niño. Do not fear me. In this place, you must have friends. Mañana then, we will become good friends tomorrow.
That first night among the beasts was 100 years long. Even so, its end was too soon coming.
We will become friends today, eh? You would like to work for me, would you not, Niño?
The boy does not want your filthy hand on him, Puerco. His name was Drog, and he had killed more than 20 men at Peñaduro. Release him.
He's mine! One so small as this can slip beneath the notice of the guards. He will be useful to me.
I said release him! The boy died that day, and the man was created.
What? Can anyone hear me? Osito? Where are you going? Is someone there?
Only yourself.
You are me?
What you will become. Only one danger stands in the way of your master in the world. Fear. Conquer the fear in your heart, and you will be second to no man. A master of all. He returned to the world 31 days after his fall. He returned no longer a child.
Are you sleeping?
¿Qué? Niño? I thought you had died.
The niño is dead, Puerco. But I am here.
No! I will not have such abominations in my prison! He is a bane to everything holy!
And so I was named. The chains are too big. The weapon, Jefe. It is covered in blood, as the boy's.
Throw him in the cavidad oscuro. The chains will fit snug before he sees the light of the sun again.
I spoke to my mother last night, mi carcelero. She says they stoke a special fire for you.
Throw him in the hole! He will have hair on his chest before I release him!
The words had shaken the warden, and then he heard them. El Cavidad Oscuro was dug by clergy 3 centuries ago. Those sent there by the priests were told to pray for deliverance. The only deliverance found there was madness or death, and I would surrender to neither. And I would not surrender to the fear. Instead, I would become fear. I stared into the darkness of that pit and became a part of it. I purged fear from my heart, and I survived. The cell was below the level of the sea as I died, and each night the ocean would flood it. Each night I would fight for my life. Hatred gave me the strength to hold on. Hatred and the promise of the man I would become. I learned to welcome the nightly visits of the sea. It allowed me to mark the days. It brought me food. It brought me life. And in all those days I heard no voice but my own. Welded into a 5 by 10-foot cell. My entire world was the length of 3 short paces. But they could not confine my mind. In my mind, I traveled beyond my tomb. I had no words for these meditation techniques. They grew from utter desolation and crushing boredom. I roamed worlds undreamed of, And in each place I saw down the bad thing that fluttered in my heart, and finally killed it. Fear died in me. More than 4,000 days I was down in that pit. More than 10 years of waiting. I was released in the hope that someone would seek revenge for Puerco's murder. But the warden did not realize what I had become to the lost and the damned of Peñaduro. I had become legend. Many wanted my favor, and many wanted to serve. One was the American, called Bird.
You got the power, kid. I've seen it before. You need anything, you call on me. See, I'm a pretty fair jailhouse lawyer. Not that it's done me a bit of good.
And how would I return these favors?
They tell me you're a kid who's going somewhere. You got magic. I could use some of that. I'm doing life on this rock, kid. I got screwed by some partners up in Gotham. Guy named Novak. I'm kind of anxious to get back there and set things right. Maybe some of your magic can help me fly over these walls, huh?
The birds.
I don't know. Got away with them. Always did.
I will see you again. We will talk. You will tell me about Gotham. I became a model prisoner, a tame animal. The warden allowed me to work in a library. Once, part of the prison had been a monastery. The monks had thousands of books. Bird taught me to read, and soon I was reading 3 books a day. I had learned to read in 6 languages. There was power in knowing things. When I had consumed all of the prison library, I sought more. Where others had drugs and tobacco and sweets smuggled in, I used my network to bring me books. And as I improved my mind, I improved my body. 1,000 push-ups each day, 1,000 sit-ups, 1,000 pull-ups, and instead of sleep I meditated 4 hours each night. And each day of each year brought me closer to the image of perfection in my mind. My reign over the lost and forgotten of Peñaduro did not go unchallenged. But they had only brutality and greed to give them strength, whereas I drew my power from the very rock of this place. None could take that from me. Bird, tell me more about Gotham City.
It's the greatest city on the planet. It's like a big piece of ripe fruit. It's the whole world to me.
And who rules this city?
And that's a tough one. No one gang boss runs the place because of Batman. I guess I'd have to say Batman rules Gotham.
Batman.
Nobody knows who he is or what his game is, but Gotham After Dark is his. He's taken down every major hood in the city. The only ones who aren't scared of him are crazy.
Nobody knew what it was in the mention of this Batman that changed me so. It inflamed my imagination, fueled my dreams. This creature would become my obsession and my purpose. Still, the events of my life were beyond my control. This caused me frustration and spent itself as rage. The warden was more than satisfied to see the inmates annihilate one another. But when my body count reached more than 30 men, they brought me down like an animal.
This is the 5th inmate who has died from these injections. What is the object of these experiments?
A new nerve toxin? The formula for a super soldier? Some military application, I'm certain. What is your concern? Afraid you'll run out of prisoners? Can you get me a strong subject this time, Warden? One that will last more than 3 days?
I have just such a man in isolation at the moment.
My body rebelled against the series of injections. Rebelled and triumphed. When I survived the drugs, the surgery began. They could administer the drug directly into my brain now. And I knew that this was the last step on the way to becoming the perfect self. While I provided the experimenters with a distraction, Zombie was able to obtain a sample of the drug. A super steroid derived from the drug, codenamed Venom. It stimulated the adrenal glands while targeting the corpus callosum segment of the brain. This drug would ultimately fuse the right and left hemispheres of the brain. So we formed a plan. It was simplicity itself. I only had to die. And so I followed my mother out to Punto de Tiburon. For the first time in my life, I would be leaving Peñaduro in the belly of a shark. But they could not kill me. They had only made me stronger. A free man for the first time in my life. And yet I returned to Peñaduro. Returned from the dead. Returned from freedom. The world was mine.
Do not harm him! Let him pass!
Even the elements conspired with me. The army helicopter came in just ahead of the storm. The fools in the capital gave in to our demands to save their precious warden. Even if we died that night, it was still a victory.
You will all die! They will hunt you down like dogs!
Such a display. You embarrass yourself, senor. Dying is not so difficult. I found it liberating. Here, a parting gift. You will not have to die alone.
No! No! No!
Which way now, Bane?
North. To the United States. To Gotham. Months passed. Bird used his connections to secure us false identities. And with the help of Trog's talents for electronics and Zombie's knowledge of pharmaceuticals, they created a device. We fitted the headpiece and gave me a way to supply myself with the venom at will. Now, I am complete, and only one thing stands in my way. A creature cloaked in a nightmare. As the Batman disappears into the night, I will follow him into the abyss. I will meet his gaze, and I will destroy him. I will watch him. I will study him. If I am to rule this city, I must first understand it. That Batman is Gotham City. And when I truly know him, only then will I understand this city. One day you will know my name, Batman. And on that day, you will beg for mercy. And Gotham will be mine. Hello, Bruce.